their ticket to France. Renegades need to win 2 maps in a row and would have to take this one and then take it to Dust 2, which I think is even just as difficult as it would be to beat MIBR on train. So it's a very, very difficult task for Renegades no matter how you look at it. MIBR have to be favored, at least on paper. But this is where I love to burn the paper to shreds. Prove me wrong.
Okay, to start this round now, MIBR has taken that box hall's control very quickly, pushing off JKS back into that B bomb site, that inner bomb site as some would call it as well. Looking at the round though, MIBR not really wanting to commit too much. Renegades on the other hand not looking to overextend. Really the only pushed up player is going to be Jacob, who's made his way into this ladder now solo to hopefully pick off any of these MIBR players that choose to drop down.
Yeah, MIBR is just chilling out, taking their sweet time, walking around the map. It's like a no running zone around a pool. They're chilling. The bomb is in tow, on its way to Ivy right now, and you have a player, that being Fur, in T-Con. So I'd have to believe that this is going to be a multi-pronged attack into the A side.
Yep.
You're going to have ladder, you're going to have T-Con, you're going to have Ivy side as well. So Renegades, their defense right now is really going to be reliant on those 2 that are towards Ivy. Liaz and Azza. Azza's actually up on the train right now. He's watching T-Con, but there's a big brunt of the force from MIBR that'll be coming to this Ivy side. He's needing help.
Yeah, looking at MIBR, however, they all armored up here, so no smoke grenades are going to be thrown on this execute. That's going to give the opportunity for Renegades to take some engagements that MIBR won't expect, as Azza does take down Taco, and we're into a 4-on-4.
There's the help, but the help was not that much. 4v3 right now, and all the attention that was drawn over towards Ivy. Jacob was looking outside, looking towards T-Con, because with Azza down, he was holding that T-Con side. 2v2 suddenly, though, with JKS and Smooya just evening out the odds. Phelps, too, caught at the old bomb train right now, going to try to escape. He gets double peeked, and now Renegades, they don't have a kit unless there's one somewhere down on the site, and they've spotted the shoulder, and Coldzera steps out a bit too far. Doesn't matter if you have a kit or not, Renegades come up with a pistol once. So that's awesome, too, because when your T side struggles on a map like Train, you got to get those early rounds up quick.
Yeah, for Renegades, that pistol round was massive. MIBR not having any smoke grenades, however, that made it a little bit more difficult for them attacking that outside bomb site. They had to worry about angles that they... Well, even if they bought one smoke set, they could have been able to smoke, flash off maybe the backside of Ivy or towards that CT connector in the rotations. Even the old bomb area could have been smoked, but they chose to go with 5 armors, and Renegades punishes them for it extremely well there, getting their first round.
Yeah, I got a little bit worried, too, for the Renegades, because if you don't have, I mean, if MIBR has all chest armor, then the head is, of course, the target that the Renegades have the opportunity to take the round win on, you know? But those long-range fights, as soon as they lost Ivy, though, without it getting any kills, then I was starting to worry for the Renegades that, okay, those Glocks can get in tight and make it difficult for a USP to make magic happen. But the second round has begun, and we have seen back and forth on pistol plus second and third rounds. Fourth rounds included as there, but MIBR go for the force buy to try and recreate some of the action that they had to start out Mirage.
Does look like it's going to be a little bit of an outside fake, maybe to draw over the rotations. Maybe Jacob moves closer towards that connector, but MIBR are favoring that inner bomb site now as JKS does take down Fur. Taco trading it out onto Jacob, and Coldzera now taking down JKS to give MIBR the opportunity of this inner bomb site.
Uh-oh, and that's dangerous too. Coldzera having the scoped up Krieg at range up here should have an easy time dealing with Liaz. Actually pushes him back. So even though it's 2v3, with Liaz being so wounded,
it's going to be a save.
Utility. Yeah, you would think that it's going to be a save at that point. And you had mentioned MIBR, they were setting up for some smokes, a fake smoke outside, just thrown up from the top of the ladder out of the window. That's all fine and dandy, and you said, oh, it might pull the rotator out of the Z connector, favoring A, but in fact, Renegades had instead not having that pivot player in Z connector, had 2 players dedicated to B, which would have been the exact right call to stop something that MIBR was doing right there, but instead, MIBR still power through.
And looking at it right now, that force buy is going to pay off for them as they get their first round on the board, Dallas. Will Renegades force right back up? Because, I mean, if you get those scouts on, especially on a map like Train, you can do some serious damage with it, and yep, that's exactly what's going to happen here. You're going to see Azza drop his UMP over. He's going to pick up a scout himself. I imagine JKS might be going for an MP9 to get some utility, maybe even a scout for himself as well.
Yeah, that was, you see Coldzera up in the box halls up here. I think the action that actually happened before that was his presence in on the catwalk side of that.
Yep.
As he had come out. He got the kill on the defender with the UMP that was down on the site, and then he was able to stop any kind of rotations out of the Z connector. MIBR back to full rifles. Renegades did go for that buy-in quickly as they may. With the UMP and the M4 saved, they're able to get some CZs and a scout included. And you said, yes, the scout can do a lot of work here. It's going to be Azza that's holding on to this. He's on the A bomb train.
Renegades actually getting fairly aggressive towards Ivy now, as you're going to see Smooya push up and just put himself in this cubby towards Ivy, while the rest of Renegades now looking towards a little bit of a rotation towards inner. You're going to see Azza actually bring that scout towards that portion of the map, as Jacob and Liaz playing fairly pushed up towards this E-box area.
Well, Smooya is actually
able to stop it.
Out Ivy, and Phelps,
in this cubby right here. I think Phelps has an idea.
Something here. He tucks himself at this box, and depending on where the rest of the team goes, they came out of the upper halls and they had turned the corner. One did. Fur turned the corner towards T-Con, and the rest of the company is making their way towards Ivy. So no matter what for Smooya here,
this might
if he
work.
gets one kill, that's great, because it's actually early warning for the team that's on the A side and the B side to help out. Oh, he's got trigger discipline. Oh, but the second player fallen. We've just credited him with so much over the past couple of days, how well he's been playing, and it is all that Smooya can do is just alarm the team that there's a problem coming. A storm is rising. Liaz gets one kill for the trade of two of his teammates. Then Azza comes in with a scout. They could still do this, but with Liaz going down, he was out towards the E-box side, out in the open. That is a tough spot to hang out from. And the last player falls out of the ladder and is cleaned up quickly by Taco. So a disaster was averted there by Fallen.
Yeah, that started looking like Smooya was about to get a highlight reel, but Fallen with some great awareness there. I actually think that because Smooya looked over to his left to actually look at...
Smooya is actually asking that exact question
exactly.
right now. Would you have seen me if I was facing the wall? And Fallen says, I checked nonetheless.
Yeah, so Fallen with some great awareness there. I mean, yeah, it started to look like if Smooya did tuck his face into the wall, maybe Fallen wouldn't have been able to check it, but Fallen with some great awareness watching his teammates back, going to be able to pick up a massive frag.
So an eco round for the Renegades. Even though they won the pistol round, MIBR do get some of these early T rounds. Still early. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is shaped up a lot like what was going on in Mirage, with Renegades winning a pistol and then MIBR coming right back into it. But instead, with that second round in a row so quickly, Renegades are going to have to bow out sooner than that. So they'll just collect their money as best as they can into the next round, which would be 3 rounds of loss bonus. Considering with USPs just here, they should be okay.
All right, Fur and Phelps have made their way out towards middle right now. Only JKS playing behind this bomb train. Phelps does spot him, or sorry, Fur does spot him out a little bit of damage. Phelps should be able to pick up this kill momentarily. But all these players on Renegades posted in this connector now, forcing their way out. Fur able to get 2, finally taken out by Jacob, but it's going to be Phelps and Cold Zero to clean it up.
MIBR was able to get pretty deep into the site. They had gotten over towards camera. You saw that to close out the round. They had come out of T-Con. They were able to get these angles from wall to wall across the A site, and there's not many places to hide, especially when those angles are virtually lining up with the train cars.
Yeah, they had Fur in that situation just poking out middle, just trying to get any info, and it was basically Phelps try and get as deep as you can, try and get as much possession of the map as you can. By the time Fur makes contact, Phelps is already by that hell area, able to pick up a very easy kill. Fur then picks up 2 more. It was a very nice eco round out of the MIBR side.
Jacob has to change his pace there. He saw he missed up that Molotov and instead chills. The peek right there from Taco. He's worried. He thought about going back up the ladder, but instead he is going to say no whammies and continue to hold the same angle.
Just patiently waiting. Maybe Jacob's going to get interested in looking to re-aggress into this ladder room now, because he is sort of in this no man's land by himself. And there it is. He's going to be pushing up into it. There was a flashbang for him, but he's not able to actually catch any T's being flashed there, as Taco takes him down and sees MIBR into a 5-on-3.
Yeah, I mean, Taco got the first kill with the op, right? And then some ended up with the AK. Did they swap that back?
He traded it off with Fallen.
Traded back out with Fallen. And we see Fallen. He's on the other side of the world right now. So how fast was that shift from MIBR to work that play? Just put your players in the right spot in the right time. Renegades have not been playing that ladder room, it seems. I've seen them with pistols in there on the pistol round, and then I think on their eco round they had a player in there, but nothing when it comes to the rifles. They've evacuated that, and I'd love to see if Renegades are able to patch that up, because MIBR have been able to abuse the lack of any kind of ladder presence a couple times into A.
Yeah, Renegades now opting to save. It was a fairly simple round for MIBR, really off the back of Taco. They're going to make this one happen. Renegades not having an opportunity to trade anything or get any easy kills, are going to pass up on trying to retake this round and go ahead with the save. So MIBR now moving on to their 4th round of T-side, looking very good to start this second map.
There's hope that Renegades aren't getting flashbacks to the 16-2 that happened 30 minutes ago. You know, it's that is going to start to nag in the back of your head, and if it does end up getting to you, you're going to end up underperforming yourself.
Definitely.
So hopefully the Renegades can just forget about that and continue to play. But if you're playing on the CT side, you're expecting to have a better pace than this. Right now you're down 1-4. Yes, it's still early, but you're forced into that last round being a save. So it's going to start to kind of hurt you on the insides.
Yeah, we do have attack pause coming up from Renegades now, and I do imagine it's just deciding whether they want to buy up into this round and drop a couple rifles, because if they do drop, it'll be Famuses on the field. But if they do save, they'll have a much stronger buy round going into next. Of course, they'll have to concede MIBR a 5th round, so yeah, it does look like instead Aza will be picking up a CZ alongside some armor. Jacob, I can imagine he's going to do something similar to that. Renegades will attempt to get their 2nd round on the board.
All you need is Smoothie to pop off a couple shots here.
Yeah.
Get him in the right place. It does seem that he's been rather muted so far in this. Of course, he hasn't really had much of an opportunity to make an impact with this op, just having it last round. And of course, it was a save after that, after they had lost the site so quickly. So I want to see Smoothie be able to lop off the first player or two from MIBR on entry.
MIBR moving very quickly towards ladder once again. Taco leading the charge with that op in tow. Is he going to be able to pick something off to start this round?
Yeah, the same strategy. Putting Taco down here in the ladder room with the op.
I think it's just based off the spawns at this point. Taco having the best spawn, he can make it into ladder the quicker.
2 times in a row? Yeah, it's...
Hey, I mean, it's RNG, and maybe he got it twice in a row. No pun intended, playing up against the Renegade side. All right, Liaz now. He's the only aggressive player on the Renegades team towards this outer bomb site, pushed up on the edge as Smoothie does take down Fallen towards the upper halls. It will be a 5-on-4 for Renegades. First time we've seen them in a man advantage in quite a little while.
Yeah, Smoothie actually was mobile too. He was A, and then he started to lean towards B, and he's still floating. That's what you do with your op. You're the pivot player. Now Jacob, after Smoothie had gotten that first kill, Jacob looked to capitalize on that and pick up another player or two, but suddenly the A site is getting jumped. Smoothie in the Z connector does find first. There's the 2 kills I would hope he'd get. Now it's going to come down to the rifles, because Aza and JKS, Aza's CZ, might rely a little bit more on those 2 players that have the weapons to do a little bit more damage. But the bomb right now is a little bit stuck at E-Box. Coldzera, can he escape this? Such a brave walk. I mean, he gets all the way from T-Con across E-Box into ladder, uncontested, not even seen.
Now JKS does take down Phelps, so there's going to be a call that they could be hitting towards this inner bomb site as Coldzera does move out. JKS with a little bit of contact. That's going to give away his position now as Taco is staying towards that lower hall, is just holding for any pick he can get. Actually missing the shot will allow Smoothie to take down Taco, and JKS taking down Coldzera. It will be Renegades' 2nd round on the board.
Good on you, Smoothie. Got 3 kills on that round, and that's exactly what you would hope for, because that is going to be the key to getting ahead of MIBR, is making sure that MIBR doesn't have the old tried and true method of just having their man advantage going into a post plant and just holding on to the site. And I like that from the Renegades. Just it was JKS at the beginning of that. It was holding down that B site and got that first kill in there, and that slowed MIBR down. They had 3 players on the ramp, and then suddenly they just stopped dead in their tracks, and that allowed Smoothie to come back in and give some more direct support.
Aza now making his way into ladder, the solo player isolated by himself here. MIBR taking a very slow default, and that's something you see on train very, very often actually, is the fact that MIBR won't be moving too quickly on the map. They're going to just set themselves up. Most teams actually just want to set themselves up, push off the CTs, and then finally do a hard execute or maybe even a double fake.
Yep. Well, right now they are still top ladder. They could come down this ladder if they choose, but in my eyes, it might look like an A fake, because everybody pouring down that ladder could be a disaster. A risk you might not want to take. What a spot from Smoothie. Really shallow angle. Now he stands on top of the bomb train looking for the next. He 99'd Fur through the side of the train, it seemed like, and this is a lot of damage dealt to MIBR. Fallen's even climbing on top of this ladder, has the deal in for the 2 kills against Liaz and Smoothie. It is now only up to Phelps. The bomb is on the site near default position, so he needs to take a fight straight up. Actually surprised that there's a molly there, and he was searching, tunnel vision down the lane towards the oil tanker train, but Jacob had already taken the high ground, and the Renegades have actually dealt enough damage that MIBR's money is a little bit scattered. It goes all the way from $2,800 on Fur to $5,800 on Phelps.
Yeah, I imagine MIBR might look towards a little bit of a force buy. Actually, they're going to go for AK, so they're going to fully force up into this
And
round.
op.
Not a bad idea either, though. Just looking at Renegades, on the other hand, their money isn't set up to the place where you can say, okay, if we lose a round, we have a good buy. It's not that big of a deal. Renegades also are really kind of starved for that economy, so an opportunity for MIBR to actually make something happen, and it does look like they're going to make it happen with a fast inner hit.
And Fallen is absolutely bouncing his way down that ramp. He's charging ahead at 1 HP, and that's the punishment. I mean, an AUG is great and all, but it's still not 100 damage guaranteed. They have to get close enough, and it was only a couple pixels difference considering Fallen got 99. And with how fast that played out, it looks like Renegades are just going to call it quits and play a quick save.
Well, MIBR essentially swarmed through that lower bomb site, got the early kill onto JKS, and then by the time the rotations even started taking steps backwards towards inner, MIBR had already pushed up towards that connector. So a wise choice from Renegades not opting to pursue this round here, as MIBR has total inner control. Instead, they're going to save these 4 weapons that they have, bring them into next round in the hopes that they can actually battle their way back.
Yeah, that stings a lot, though. I mean, you lost a round right out of the gates, and it hurts quite a bit. And they didn't even get a single kill against MIBR. So MIBR getting a lot done there with very little. They had bought up the AWP, they had bought up the AKs, they have stolen themselves an AUG off of that kill against JKS. So they're able to bolster themselves, but they could have done that with just a showing of one player that has a weapon, it seems, because the Renegades just didn't want anything of it.
And looking at the Renegades team right now, the double op setup coming into play for them as JKS and Smooya both have those big green guns on their backs. MIBR, on the other hand, well, they're going to be taking it towards that box halls once again, very quickly down the ladder right now, and it does look like they'll be looking towards an outside split here as the round progresses.
Okay, for this double op, you've got Smooya holding A right now. He's E-box throwing Molotovs into the ladder. Then JKS's op is over there on the B ramp side of things. He's got help up top too with Jacob that's about ready to swing around that corner if he can. Did we just see that grenade come in that we Hey Future Prosed? Did that just come in there and ring the bell a couple
I think that came from down through the ladder there and dropping on the CT.
Okay, I thought it was actually a CT nade that came in and hurt Cold Zera down to 14. That hurts a bit.
It hurts, don't it? Alright, a nice Molotov there pushing off Jacob, ensuring that he won't be able to peek those box halls for quite some time as MIBR now moving down into that ladder room. I think Azza might have actually heard this drop from Taco, so you actually see Smooya as well as Azza concentrating on ladder right now.
Yeah, they're going to make a call that there's multiple players down there. Oh my goodness, but Taco comes out of the smoke and he sees both players turning their backs to him. Smooya and Azza was completely caught off guard, trying to reposition. So MIBR done very well in taking the timing fight against them, and a 2 HP Leah's just enough to be able to catch Fallen, and it's just a cleanup crew from there on out. Even though MIBR had a beautiful entry into that A side out of ladder, I mean, you had 2 players. You're virtually playing 4v3 at that point.
Well, the unfortunate part in that round is after Taco gets those 2 entry kills coming out of that ladder, he actually burns to Fallen's Molotovs. So Fallen got a TK in there on a pushed up Taco. So if Taco was able to stay alive, he becomes such a pillar in that outside area, being able to get towards that bomb train and cut off rotations, that it would have allowed MIBR a little bit more freedom of movement towards that outer yard. However, going down, it does make it very hard for MIBR. Fallen being smoked off towards middle, and now being taken down by Liaz to begin the round.
Grenade comes in. A little bit of damage here and there. Liaz not going to feel as comfortable as he just was, considering that he has seen a player had sneaked over or sprinted over to the opposing side of Ivy. So he'll hold a more defensive angle instead of something that's active searching downrange. Fur, who had snuck his way in to the site through T-Con, is suddenly cleaned up. And Renegades look to capitalize on this little purchase from MIBR. It's very, very faint, it looks like, because they've already brushed it under. No damage has been dealt to the Renegades, and their defense just still stands into their default. They're actually shifting back JKS into the Z connector, and more bodies will continue to stack up.
Alright, a fairly simple round here for Renegades to pick up on an ecoing while force buying a little bit of MIBR there. We're buying up into that round, but not too much going on for them otherwise. Not even any picks. Maybe Cold Zera can get a little bit of a silver lining frag here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting with MIBR with this force buy on this round. Their loss bonus isn't fantastic, and they didn't net any kills.
Yeah.
So they've got now 2 rounds of loss bonus, and it's not that pretty. If they want an op, it's going to be a glass cannon op. If they want AKs, armor, and utility, the utility is going to be a little bit short too.
The thing about T-side train as well is that you can get away with 5 rounds. Hitting your 5-round mark on your T-side train, it starts to look good for you guys. Any rounds past this is just the icing on the cake. So if you're MIBR at this point, you can afford one more save just to ensure that you'll get a very strong gun round out.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'll stand by that one. MIBR do take a timeout right now, probably talking about how they want to approach that. And they're probably saying the exact same
Okay, they're going to go for a buy.
Okay. There's the glass cannon for Fallen. There's going to be AKs picked up, and like I said, the utility will suffer because of this. So they've favored 3 smokes now.
So they've got enough to do an execute on towards the outer bomb site, but the issue becomes they don't have the Molotovs that you would initially throw towards possibly Connect or towards the back of bomb train. That's where they're really lacking. Even towards that inner bomb site, they're not going to be able to push out those CTs that are going to get into strong little hold positions. So for MIBR now, how are they able to actually get these entry kills?
coldzera's marching ahead. Smooya's got his op here. It's scope versus scope, and maybe Smooya doesn't take another step forward. Maybe not.
Just holding that tight angle, but it doesn't even matter. coldzera, what a shot to open up this map, and I do believe he recovers that AWP as well, and he's going to keep on going, Dallas.
Yeah, you just lost the cannon on your team. They do trade Fur out. That was at the T-Con end, but now MIBR actually have a double op play with that stolen op. I mean, this is it's a lot of firepower, but as you mentioned, they don't really have the utility for a post-plant situation. So if 1 or 2 players melt on the cost of planting the bomb, just the cost of business, I don't see MIBR hanging on to a long-term plant.
It's going to be interesting to see if coldzera actually decides to poke and prod out into this inner bomb site. As Fallen does go down, it does look to MIBR now to make that play to get themselves back into a 3-on-3 situation.
I like this from Jacob. Don't want him to see him take any more further steps forward. Instead, he starts to go back.
Wise
they're actually
decision at this point.
actually watching towards CT, so there's been some gap in defense on Ivy. Lias did get a kill out there against Fallen, if I'm not mistaken, and so they're worried about it. Renegades are a bit scared of where these Ts could be executing from.
That is huge there. We actually see Taco slip right by as JKS gets caught throwing a flashbang. Taco knows exactly where he is, Dallas, so he's going to get this frag no problem. And then that's where the map opens up as JKM does take him down. coldzera now trades it out. coldzera's pushed up upper, but the time on the clock.
Is he going to get it down?
No.
No, he's not. Oh, you just got to stay alive at this point. There's no way. The CTs are split from one another. And 2 survive to both. No, to one side. Just at the very tail end of that one, you lose a player. So MIBR are okay with that. They bought up, and it's an expensive one, but they made it expensive for the Renegades too. And I think they're happy about it because, like you said, they're already par for the course at 5 rounds.
Yeah, that was actually a really cool strat out of MIBR, burning down the clock essentially, and then having those 2 players attack the inner bomb site, which would prompt Renegades to just assume that the bomb will be coming towards that portion of the map. Unfortunately, just a couple seconds off their timing, MIBR run out of clock to actually get that bomb down.
Yeah, so they'll hold on to the op and the AK they saved from the previous one and they'll actually buy in again.
Ooh, Cold taking quite a bit of damage now, down to 16 HP, going for that off pick towards ladder. That's going to keep him a little bit more passive now.
We've seen that before too. Fur has been doing that too. So it's a custom, it seems, for MIBR to stay around in those Molotovs at bottom of ladders just to make sure that, okay, maybe there's going to be a quick peek in here, maybe I can get a kill away with it. But MIBR are pretty consistent at doing a strategy like that, or a tactic like that.
All right, a little bit of inner pressure being applied now as coldzera pushing up towards those halls as Phelps does take down Lias towards Ivy. It's going to give MIBR some room to work with now.
Yeah, that actually is going to make a lot of space for them. So with that death, Smooya is now helping out at the B site with JKS. So it's a 2-2 defense. Jacob is at the backside. He's at the threshold of the ladder room, trying to hold 2 angles, and he just got peeked down here. So Taco's comfortable with this. Fallen drops in and gives him a gift, a present from Santa Claus. Azza now is just behind E-Box, and he's been painted from both T-Con and the bottom side of the ladder. Very small angle to try and hold on to. JKS is going to try and be a hero here. 1 tap to coldzera's face. Double take from Phelps. Nice shot, though. Smooya jumped up a bit too far.
JKS now the final member left on the Renegade side. In this 1v3, I do imagine he is going to save, as no control of that outer yard is going to make it very difficult for him to actually get anything going. So a wise decision out of him going for the save, looking at his money as well on the Renegade side. It's not built up too high either. So JKS most likely will be dropping that AUG to Smuya, or possibly even Aza dropping the AWP to Smuya, and then JKS giving that AUG to Aza.
Yeah, if he can get it. Fur is up in the
Yeah,
halls.
Fur's hunting.
Yeah, they're looking for him. I mean, MIBR don't really have the cash to hunt at all.
Yeah, they're not necessarily just going for the frag, but
Yeah.
if it falls into their lap, well, they'll take it, obviously.
Well, the real thing that happened here on that round is the first casualty from Renegades, which I believe was Liaz. And with his death, you saw Smuya start to unsettle. They shift, they rotate, they try and park themselves and get ahead of the game. But instead, they end up just feeding kill after kill after kill to MIBR after they got out of their groove. So just that little bit of an upset to the Renegades' default shifts them, and they overreact to it, I think. Or probably more likely is that MIBR are just able to exploit it a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah. That's definitely the way I'm going to look at that round. I mean, Jacob here with a little bit of promise, but Fallen able to drop down and take him out. That was a tremendous kill coming out of Fallen there. From that point on, it just basically became the MIBR show.
Yep. And yeah, you saw that it may have been Fur that came down the ladder, peeked it, and then went back up the ladder. And his peek there was that, okay, nobody shot me in the legs.
I think that was Taco, actually.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nobody shot me in the legs. It's clear down here. So then he says, okay, I'm coming down again, trying to do it quietly. And luckily, as MIBR went headlong down that ladder, luckily Fallen was able to settle his feet down on the ground and put an accurate shot.
It could have been a very different round if Jacob takes that kill.
Very different if it's a 2-0 trade.
Ooh, that's a big nade coming out from Fur onto Liaz there towards the back of Bomb Train. So Liaz was just coming out of connector there. He's going to catch that nade in his pocket. MIBR, though, looking for a very slow, methodical round here, looking for any overextension from any CTs that they can take advantage of. But Renegades doesn't seem to be giving it to him. The only really aggressive player that we're going to see is going to be JKS, and he's pushed up towards those upper box halls. But nobody on MIBR really pressuring it too heavily, as Taco being the solo member now, just kind of scouting it out, creating a little bit of presence.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, too, that Renegades have won 5 of the past 7 that have played out, but just with that one round that they lose previously, suddenly they're in a spot that it could be a torrent of rounds that go to MIBR's favor if they win this round, because you have broken a Renegades economy. They would have to settle down, think about, well, the 14th, 15th round is going to be our last bye.
Exactly.
And hope for the best. So MIBR are actually at a really, really good spot right now on train.
Yeah, setting up for those outside smokes is the T side, and it does look like they'll be coming over momentarily here. Liaz, the man on scene, can he make this one happen?
They do not care that there's a smoke here. They're going to melt to Liaz and Aza. They get 3 and now 4, a just gift handed to them as the Renegades were able to see the utility coming up over the wall. They drop a smoke right at the front of T-Con, and MIBR just tried a brute force access into T-Con and into the A site, and they are met with overwhelming superior firepower.
Yeah, with 10 seconds on the clock, Fallen does take down Smuya. That's going to be actually the AWP going down on the map. Fallen looking to save his as well now.
Miles is going back there to try and grab it, and Fallen's not looking to defend it. So yeah, the op will be picked up.
Well, Aza smoked it off as well before even going towards picking it up. So he would have had that no problem, and that's a great little decision from him as well. Just in case Fallen was watching that AWP, he's going to go ahead and smoke it off, ensure that he's able to get it, not lose another gun, and Renegades will pull ahead by 1 round here. As we move into the final moments of this first half, Renegades seemingly finding a little bit of instability on their CT side.
Overconfident pushing out of that smoke right there. You could see it as Liaz and Aza were just lined up, ready to greet
If they
them.
had a flashbang come over middle as they were going out, it probably would have caught Liaz, probably would have given them the opportunity to make something happen, but instead, just forcing the smoke like you mentioned, they were absolutely punished for it.
Same strategy. JKS is up in the upper halls right here. They've pushed down into lower ramp, and JKS realizes that he's way too wide after that, how quickly MIBR have executed. Whenever MIBR take this lower site, they just decide that we're going to run the momentum down this ramp, and we're going to overshoot and get deep as we can in there so quickly that we get those anchors or defenders that are right up front to overshoot the angles, just as you saw up in the upper top side from JKS.
Okay, Renegades, as quickly as they saw that lead come their way, MIBR taking it right out of their hands now and tying this one back up at 7 apiece. This is a great T-side out of them, and an even better shot coming up from Phelps now, taking down Aza with that rifle towards middle with only a P250, Dallas. No armor either.
There's been quite a few rounds where MIBR are just able to quickly go into the B site and make quick work of it, force the Renegades into a save call, or start the hunt after the fact. But that B site is very, very vulnerable, it seems, to rapid pressure.
Okay, final round of the half here is Renegades looking to scrounge it together every dollar they can in efforts to buy up into this round. It's going to be, in fact, Aza with a Mag 7 on his back. Smooya will be able to get an op, but we're only going to see 2 kits on the Renegade side here. So if we go into that post-plant scenario and Liaz and Smooya are nowhere to be found, this could be very detrimental to Renegades coming out with this half win.
So it's a setup for what we had seen early on. This is a attempted pinch into the A site, but Renegades are able to upset some of this momentum, a 1-for-1 trade. It does wound a lot of players to both sides. Jacob, Asa, and Fallen are both tagged up quite heavily. Jacob, though, off angle here, the old Hell side, grabs Phelps for free.
Okay, and Renegades off of that pick will be going into a full passive setup almost now. Smooya is aggressed towards E-Box, but he's got support from JKS by that bomb train. A pop flash will be coming out towards ladder now from Fur, and you should see Taco swing.
Well
Taco
played.
gets the entry.
Beautiful. That was Taco's flashbang all the way from the T-spawn end of things outside of T-Con. Fallen has been holding this angle forever. The patience. Oh! But it seems like he probably scratched his head or something, or moved his hand off his mouse. He's quicker than that. And MIBR off the tail end of that one are starting to unravel. JKS gets the last couple kills, and it is an 8-7 lead for the Renegades, but no matter how you look at it, if you get 7 rounds on your T side, you're just ahead of the curve.
Yeah, unfortunately, this hill that Renegades have basically built for themselves to climb now is not looking like it's going to be an easy second half for them. Moving on to that T side, as we know, it is tremendously CT favored here on Train. So Renegades now, not only do they need to start off with the pistol round in the second half, but they'll also have to pick up the first gun round to start making their dream come true.
Yep, we have seen the Renegades win in pistol rounds, but we've seen MIBR getting those force buys, and I don't see anything changing from that. So let's find out what happens in the second half shortly. Renegades versus MIBR.
Walk away, walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. Walk on, baby.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. It is the second map, Renegades, in the second half with MIBR. Having a pretty strong T side to things, looking to just tap it in. And if they can tap it in on their CT side, they go to France.
Yeah, MIBR, this was their map pick, and when you look at the MIBR maps in general, it's usually train or overpass that pop up for them. So as we went into this map, I felt like MIBR would have a strong T side. They in fact did, pulling off 7 rounds. And as we move into CT side now, Renegades, well, they're going to have to do a lot, and Jacob taking down Fur is a good start, but coldzera evens it up on Liaz, and we're right back to where we started.
Yeah, you do have some Renegades players that are behind lines, but Phelps and Fallen will knock them down instantly. Taco's even got a flank back here, so I don't see you lasting very long here, Smoya. You got 1 kill on there. Nice, confident shot from Taco. Leaves JKS all alone. 3 survive from MIBR. Taco will be able to get cheap head armor in the next round too. So now this is one of the rarer instances where MIBR have won a pistol round. Do the Renegades go for the force buy to try and upset momentum?
On a map like Train, I don't imagine they will. There's still a chance that they do, but when you're looking at what your force buy is going to be, it's going to be pistols, right, Dallas? And if you have pistols on a map like Train, well, you're going to be hard-pressed to find yourself taking engagements that actually favor that because of the fact that Ivy is so deep. But in fact, well, Renegades will be forcing up into this round by the looks of it.
All the cool kids do it.
Yeah.
Right?
So what are they going to approach, though? Because if they head out middle, you're going to have to fight those AUGs, those scouts from such a long distance. If you head towards inner, that's really where you're going to have the opportunity to find the most success, as it's very tight. But if MIBR play it a little bit more passive from the backside of inner, they can just capitalize on those pistols that Renegades have and exploit them by taking them out with AUGs, with the scouts. Even a UMP at a distance would have a good opportunity.
And if they do go into the inner site, it is much easier to plant the bomb in there too. So you can hedge your bets. So even if you don't win the round, maybe you can earn a little bit of extra cash so that your AKs in the 4th round would have a little bit of a better shot with utility behind them as well. So MIBR against this force buy round, which they do not know yet. They have AUGs, umps, MP9 in there, and a scout, and they're wanting to keep their distance. Now that they see that a smoke's come down to the lower site, it should be fairly obvious that there's a little bit money invested in here on this round. You could go for, like, Renegades could have a 1 smoke buy and just go for a quick B plant, but throwing the smoke down here with no means of execution, that's going to give an indication to MIBR that this is a force buy. Oh,
well,
sick nade.
Yeah, that was a massive nade, and it's actually drawn over a couple rotations now, as you're going to see coldzera now move towards the inner bomb site as well. So Renegades have done a good job of pulling MIBR out of their positions, giving them the opportunity now to hopefully capitalize on this outside bomb site.
Uh-oh. Was Azza able to sneak?
Yeah, he got out.
He's going to end up timing this well. I think Fallen stomping around the corner. He misses his first shot, looking for the cross. He doesn't pull the trigger on that one. The second kill, almost even the third going towards the Renegade side. Now coldzera jumping up and in, somehow defending himself. Fur helping out, and a big deficit turned right back around to the favor of MIBR. They weren't able to collect all the better guns in that one, but an AUG was able to be saved.
So looking at that round, I really like what Renegades did. They're initially starting off the round with a couple of nades going towards that inner bomb site, actually drawing over the rotation of coldzera towards inner as they try to keep it a little bit tighter, not allow Renegades to get the plant. But as Renegades head out, they're able to get down Phelps. They're able to take down Fallen, but then that's where the AUGs come into play. That's where the distance that I was bringing up during freeze time actually comes into MIBR's benefit, as that AUG on the back of Fur able to just destroy the Renegades players.
Oh, now you're going to just make money. coldzera is only able to get 1 before he's swapped out. There's only 1 more SMG in here. Fallen is just sprinting out. He's picked up this MP9, looking to make money so he can bolster his pocketbook and get an AWP a little bit more efficiently in the next couple rounds, but he goes down. I wouldn't like to see him being a sacrificial lamb like that, but he does get the intel. I don't know how good that intel is going to be with still $1.15 on the clock, but there was a lot of players out there. Yeah,
it's not too much intel that's going to happen now. As the round starts to slow down, MIBR have to start worrying about other portions of the maps. You're going to see Fur now peeking methodically towards the middle area, just looking to see if he can catch anybody off. Renegades, however, moving towards this box halls right now. And I do imagine they're going to be taking this bomb out towards that inner bomb site with maybe just a little bit of a split here. 3 towards middle, 1 towards ladder, and it's going to be on Phelps actually to hold this down.
I think Azza being at 8 HP is just going to be a sacrifice to try and make him seem like a big mean monster out here and make Taco make a bad call.
He might actually be able to catch Taco off right now. Taco's not really watching his back. He does hear him above him, so that might actually pull over a rotation. Taco does take him down, and now the bomb starts to head out middle, Dallas.
No rotations yet. Phelps will just settle in and at range get some good damage as well. He's got the AUG that's up above, that being Fur. They pair up well. There's good damage being dealt here by the Renegades. That wasn't a round that they really invested too much into.
No.
There's a deagle here and there. They got a handful of kills, 3 kills as a matter of fact, and they can at least stay within arm's reach of MIBR. Even though they're starting to trail in the rounds and it is a CT-sided map, they can start to make a comeback quicker because of that.
Definitely. I mean, MIBR now looking at the buy that they're going to be doing here. We've got 4 AUGs on the field, 1 AWP. They're going to buy up all the utility they can, a couple kits, 3 kits on the field, in fact, and that's going to burn into their wallets a great amount now. And you were mentioning the fact that Renegades are still within arm's reach. This round win here will essentially secure them.
Well, thanks.
But Phelps taking down Jacob is going to make it tremendously hard for Renegades to actually get anything going.
Just absolutely sprinted to that ladder. He really wanted to just get the kill in here and secure that bit of ladder territory. But if you grab that, I've seen a lot of T-sides grab it, and then they don't really even hold on to it. They might even back a player off of that. But now they're going to go for the head stack down here. Phelps is on a fallback position. He can get out. I love that. Oh, I love that. They throw that flashbang, and that's just get the audio cue so that Phelps backs off of that. And he did back off of that. But it's a flashbang that's not going to blind you as you come down into that position. So that's a nice little beautiful flash.
Yeah, allowing Renegades now to tie this one up in 4 apiece on either side here. This round is even numbered. Can Renegades capitalize off of this now? It does look like MIBR, on the other hand, will be playing fairly close together here, as you're going to see coldzera pushed up on the back of this red train, as well as Fallen now pushed up towards the T-Con. 2 members of MIBR as well playing the inner bomb site as Renegades heads towards Ivy. We're passing the 35-second mark on the clock. We should see an execute coming in fairly soon.
It's very, very heavy Ivy. Fallen is, I think, near Sandwich, and then coldzera is watching. Oh, he turns away from the ladder. He did have a player back there. Fallen actually picks up Azza, and now he looks for the additional players that were coming out of this ladder. Now, there was a head stack drop into this, and this allowed them to commit to stare in that direction. coldzera has now fallen the 2-for-1 trade. 10 seconds on the clock. You got to put this bomb down, but there is a flank to the rear guard. Fur is here with Smooya, all just dead to rights. Misses the first couple bullets, but the bomb is planted, and Fur is all that is needed. MIBR will continue to mark up tallies, and Renegades, even though they're getting kills, at the end of the day, you need to get the W.
Yeah, I mean, they're keeping it close. They're taking down those MIBR rifles. Yeah, they're keeping their MIBR's economy from really building up. But you're right, Dallas. They got to be able to close these rounds out. They can't keep staying in this situation of 1 or 2 frags. And there's that flash that you were talking about. Yeah. Just a fake flash to get Phelps to jiggle his body out, and it works perfectly. That was a lovely little play from Azza.
It's one of those 200 IQs. It's you're playing into the experience of him being down there on the bottom of the ladder. You're playing to his experience of he's automatically muscle reaction of, if I hear this flashbang hit the ground, I'm going to turn away.
Exactly. And all you need is that split second to gain advantage, and Renegades does exactly that. Unfortunately, not able to pull off the round is Fur with a lovely flank, able to close that one out. MIBR now leading with 11 rounds to Renegades 8.
And it's only going to get harder and harder if the Renegades aren't able to get around here or there, because you're going to need some bomb plants. You could see that they went in for the buy, mostly because they were able to get a bomb plant in that last round. Even though as narrow margin as that bomb plant may have been, it's just enough to give them AKs here and possibly give them one-man advantage and possibly give them the round.
That was a nice little spam from Jacob. He takes quite a bit of damage, able to pull off the kill, however. Now JKS does the exact same thing, taking quite a bit of damage as well, down to 60 HP. But MIBR not looking to even this one up right away, not looking to re-aggress for a pick. It does look like they're going to play it fairly passive. Unless Taco, who's heading up towards the upper box halls, has other plans.
Yeah, Taco might interrupt this. Just as they're starting to leave the upper halls, they do leave. Taco peeks it. He sees that nothing's here. So that's going to cause the rotation out. Fur is going to abandon this B site and go back towards the CT back lanes and watch in case Renegades are going to try and wrap towards Old Bomb Train. And it does seem to be a possibility, a wide possibility. Look at the B site's been completely abandoned. What a read.
Yeah, this is a great call coming up from MIBR right now, and I do imagine Taco made that call after pushing up towards those box halls. He's going to let his teammates know that he thinks that it's going to be the outer bomb site, so the gamble stack comes out. Renegades respond with the execute. What can Taco do here?
Ooh, Fallen gets just target-rich environment, but what a spray down. Coldzera almost gets the third. Fur needs a 1v2 clutch. Really only needs to get the one player that has the bomb. It's a mad dash to the site. Smoothie's going to put it down, and this might bait Fur out. Does he clear out his camera? He does. Now Smoothie's trying to jump for cover. Fur clutches, and MIBR chant and cheer after that.
Yeah, that was a great clutch once again from Fur there, lurking towards that old bomb coming up. That's a great awareness from him as well there onto Aza, able to take it down. And there you see it, 7-3-5-5-6-0-8. That would be the numbers that you need to defuse the bomb, as MIBR now moving on to 12, and Renegades, it's getting a little bit rough for them out here.
Yeah, well, at least it's been trending a little bit better for the Renegades. They're getting closer and closer into it. It first started out, there were no bomb plants, and then they get 2 bomb plants in a row. And a couple spots of it was 2v2 2 rounds ago. Then it was 2v1 to your advantage. But you just didn't have the time. You didn't have the comfort, something that they had trouble with on Mirage as well, that getting the bomb to the site and then being able to egress from that position or those positions and find some hidey holes is a problem for the Renegades.
Renegades without an AWP in this round here, so this is going to be hard for them to actually keep up with Fallen, who's been getting some great picks to start off rounds, getting very aggressive with that op as well, catching players off, so Fallen can continue this train that he's been running as Renegades move very quickly towards inner. JKS taking down Fur as well as Taco now. We're going to see that bomb rotate over Dallas, and it should be a Renegades round.
Yeah, I don't even think that the Renegades honestly thought that they'd be able to take that so easily. They had 2 players that did peek down in there. One was upper, one was lower, but you had 2 players that were backed by Ivy. They're now rebounding back just as MIBR start to filtrate backwards and go for a save of their own. So yes, it has been starting to trend towards Renegades' favor. The scales have tipped. It just took a couple of extra rounds. Renegades getting bomb plants, a little bit extra money, whittle away MIBR round after round after round. And that's why you're seeing MIBR save right now. These guys have at most in Phelps' hands $1,700.
Yeah, they're going to get that money loss bonus going into next round, so Phelps will be able to drop a weapon. Fur as well, I mean, he's going to need one. He's going to have a little bit of extra cash in the bank, so Fallen's going to be most likely the one to drop him. MIBR should have themselves a buy here, but they also have the option to go ahead and just save and get themselves a little bit of cash in their pockets because they've got 3 rounds to play with before Renegades even tie this one up.
Timeout is taken by the Renegades even after winning that round. And they're going to have to assume that the 3 can buy for the 2. So they're going to know that they're up against yet another challenge. But they themselves really came out on top of that one due to the entries from JKS. And really the key to Renegades over the past couple days has been if JKS is popping off. I know the Renegades are 2-0 right now in this group stage, but they have lost maps. And when they do lose maps, it's because JKS is not having the game of his life. He's not top fragging. But when he does top frag, when he is playing well, the team, everybody stands up taller.
Yeah, JKS definitely seems like a staple in when Renegades are finding success, how quickly they're able to do it. Every time JKS goes off, that's when you're going to see Renegades actually having a great game and even pulling off some of those tremendous wins we saw in the previous group matches. However, right now, it looks like his team is going to need much more out of him as MIBR find themselves 3 rounds ahead, forcing up into this round. What can they do about it?
Man, Taco, aggressive peak with that MP9, is able to get in and get out, doing near 50 damage to Jacob. Double molly up here towards the upper halls. Renegades are a little bit scared off of that aggression. So back off and slow things down.
Rightfully so. They don't want to give up any unnecessary kills. Yeah, Jacob took quite a bit of damage, but he still got his life, and 1 HP is all you need to get a frag here. So staying alive in this round is the name of the game for Jacob. MIBR now with a fairly easy outside setup here. You're going to see Fur pushed up towards Sandwich. You're going to see Phelps playing that AUG towards ladder from the bomb train, as well as Coldzera tucking in towards this tight Ivy spot.
There comes the entries along this tight wall. That's where the T's love to go. That's their highway. Fur has one. Looking for the next. Aza, though, grabs him, and suddenly the Renegades are on top of things. Fallen and Taco have to think about even leaving this point. The bomb will be planted, and they have to just evacuate. Oh, but Taco gets a kill here. You're still not going to look at a retake at this point.
No way.
But just doing good damage here, keeping the Renegades from ever flourishing.
All right, Renegades looking towards that round with a very fast outside burst. You're going to see the 3 members swing towards the ladder there, actually able to take down Phelps right off the bat. from that point on, Fur falls as well towards middle. He does pick up a kill onto Liaz, who is exiting out towards that T connector, but that's all he could get as Azza trades it out. Coldzera gets absolutely dismantled, and Renegades will be finding their 10th.
And Taco's hunting, actually. Oh no, he was just looking for that that AUG that was there, but he actually ended up on the heels of a player going through Ivy. So he did get the kill in the Z connector as well, and it was just an MP9. But the money is still hurting for MIBR. They're floating along, you know, they're just barely getting above water with the saves that they do have going for themselves. So they are able to draw blood from the Renegades, but it doesn't seem to be enough to be able to win a round.
Yeah, I can definitely see on this save round that MIBR have coming up, Fallen maybe getting aggressive either towards Ivy, maybe even towards lower here to get that early pick. The name of the game on this save round is how many frags can MIBR get? Can they recover any weapons for their other teammates? It does look like they're actually going to pass it over to Coldzera, who's going to do exactly that. So Coldzera is going to be looking towards this upper box halls to start the round, going to be getting aggressive and cut down that entire angle. We'll most likely see the pistols moving towards that outer bomb site, as well as Taco's AUG coming to reinforce it.
Yeah, so it really is up to the 9 and 0, Taco and Coldzera, to do the damage. Fallen has the kit, just in case things come down to a 2v2 or a 3v2 even to the favor of MIBR, if those weapons are able to do the legwork that they've promised to do, then you would have a chance at a retake. There's that upper hall presence. Coldzera sits in the fire for a little bit. How long? Long enough. Eats 56 damage, but Smuya is down and out.
And that's going to slow down the Renegades team now. They can't really pressure Inner as much as they'd like. They have to worry about that AWP that was just made presence. We're actually going to see a couple weapons being exchanged as Fallen will now take that AWP. Coldzera taking the P250 into his hands, and that AWP being rotated towards the outer yard.
Taco stepping a bit too far. It's going to be a freebie, and in fact, that basically cuts MIBR's firepower in half. And that AUG looks tantalizing for Fur to be able to go down there and grab it again. Yeah, it's a sprint. It's mad dash. He's got some pretty long arms, too, to be able to grab that one. Okay, so MIBR patched themselves up a little bit. You'd love to be able to see that AUG get back to Coldzera, but that's all the way to the B site. He's the other player that has armor.
All right, Fallen now moving that outside area, now moving towards that outside area, I should say, with that AWP in tow. We're actually going to see MIBR moving towards the inner setup with two members here. Coldzera as well as Phelps positioned by the spools as well as in the middle of this bomb train as Renegades move closer and closer towards this execute.
I mean, that's your two pistols. Your two pistols are on this B site. Renegades have flipped a coin and they decided the right direction. What is the weaker side? It's the B site. Coldzera's going to play reactionary. He's on the site itself. They'll spam through the spools. They haven't killed Phelps. He swings out though a bit too far. Now they overshoot the angles and they'll find Coldzera sleeping in between. The AWP is here from Fallen looking for the target, but he can't quite settle himself before Azab is able to catch him. Bomb was planted anyway with sub 10 seconds, I think. So the only way those pistols were going to win that one is if the spool player was able to survive an onslaught with a couple extra splinters piercing him, and then he's able to get the bomb planter. Not going to happen. Renegades are within one, man. It's coming.
Yeah, Renegades actually could have found trouble in that round as Fallen made the great call to rotate towards that inner area, but Renegades throwing those deep smokes towards inner, allowing them to spread across that lower halls or that lower ramp walkway. They're able to push into inner fairly uncontested.
AUG's in play for MIBR, so they keep running this. They keep just trying a little bit more and a little bit more. They might, I mean, they're reaching further than their grasp, it seems. They're so comfortable when they have an AWP on the field, even double AWP on the field, but now they're just down to full rifles, and they're going to try a different play here. You see aggression into T-Con. They will move Phelps out, maybe leave Fur here, using two players to get one into a position and then reset that extra player back. It looks like it's going to be an A strike, though.
A couple players on the Renegade side dropping those nades towards Ivy, creating a little bit of presence now. That's going to draw the MIBR attention as Coldzera now moving on the edge of this Ivy smoke to kind of defend it, while we're going to see Azza now moving closer and closer to T-Con, maybe even getting a pop flash in to peek this.
And it's going to be up to these entry kills. There's JKS's pop flash into T-Con. Fur, close angle. He's lost Phelps, who was holding the angle, but that flashbang is what pushed Phelps off. He's able to come back into the fight after he wipes his eyes and wipes the tears from his eyes. But coldzera through the smoke, traded out, and it's going to come down to a little bit more. Can Renegades get into the site cleanly? If MIBR are able to pick up a kill here or there, they should be able to just maintain their grip because they've got the rotations and they know it's going to be an A hit.
All right, Fallen taking down Smooya towards Ivy now, leaving only JKS and Liaz. Liaz taking down Phelps in that ladder. He knows that one more member of the MIBR side is towards his bomb train.
Good molly.
Ooh, but Fallen doing some good damage. Liaz not being able to connect on that as Fallen heads towards the CT Heaven, gets spotted, and gets taken down by Liaz.
Got to get that bomb in there. 10 seconds again. It'll be planted default. Taco marching his way up, has the first. Another 1v2 clutch is on the books. It's against JKS, and Taco wins it. MIBR stay afloat. Looks like Taco's going to go back for some utility, pick up a gun here or there, maybe if there's an op, there is. And the Renegades, after being so close to tying this ball game up, suddenly it's back to MIBR's 2-round lead.
Yeah, that was a great clutch coming out from Taco. Their Fallen actually made that a very difficult round for him. As Fallen does go down towards that CT Heaven, Taco being the final member by that old bomb, if he gets spotted out and doesn't get a kill in that position, both the Renegades players are able to play more passive now in that situation. But because he picks up this first member, he knows exactly where that bomb planter is, and he's able to take this frag down fairly easily.
Okay, and Renegades are going to buy up on this round. They have enough cash, too. If the next round comes in and if they get a bomb plant especially, there'll be again more rifles for Renegades. So it is really it. This is looking like MIBR are just 1 or 2 car lengths ahead of the Renegades and on their trip to the airport to get to France.
Well, even looking at this round right now, MIB are not having the strongest of buys due to the fact that, well, they only had one person surviving in the previous round, so Phelps and Fur will be the only ones with kits. We'll see an MP9 as well as a FAMAS on the field for Phelps and coldzera, so Renegades actually in the more advantageous position in regards to firepower in this round.
Yeah, I mean, they got 4 kills last time, so it's been erosion for MIBR. Sure, they've won themselves that one round, but it's for the past 3 or 4 rounds, it seems, MIBR have been forced to be outgunned. There's been AKs and ops more often than not for the Renegade side compared to MIBR. As you can see, they've got themselves a consortium of guns, MP9, FAMAS, AUG, OP, whatever you choose. Good nade drops in, and Phelps will melt to that one. Now you have ladder control, and MIBR are going to squirm.
Fur now smoking off ladder, give himself a little bit of room to work with right now, but it does look like Renegades have made their way out towards this team middle as Fur does take down Azza. Looks like an audible might even be called here. Renegades not committing to anything, as we are going to see coldzera pushing very aggressively towards Ivy, but he's going to get timing, and Liaz is going to take him down.
coldzera with a weaker gun and losing his angle on that one. The timing just not good enough. And now Renegades reapproach into the A site. Fallen still alive. If this is anything like yesterday, if Fallen stands with a 2vx retake or 2vx clutch, they do manage to win it, but with the long legs of Fallen, I think, that's way over towards the B site, this is a save call. So MIBR again in the next round are still going to be outgunned.
Yeah, Renegades there in that round really forcing their way towards that outer yard. Not really too much going on in terms of MIBR's defense. Phelps going down very easily, Fur as well. He does get an early entry, but he gets quickly traded out. coldzera falls, and MIBR now find themselves 1 round away from being tied up by Renegades on their map pick.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to call it yet. Uh-oh, they're getting close to one another. Fallen's behind the box right here.
Oh, he's looking up, too.
Yeah, he's looking up.
Oh, JKS and Fallen are just side by side in that situation.
Danger close. I mean, they're best friends. So, Renegades, again, 1 round down. What do they got to do to just push the rock over the hill?
I imagine this will be the round that Renegades actually tie it up. No, okay, so MIBR is going for a force buy in this round.
They've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, we're going to see more of the same that we saw in the previous round. Really weak weapons on the field here. coldzera with that deagle. We got Phelps with that UMP. Fur with the scout. So not the strongest weaponry being brought into this round right now, but still an opportunity with these weapons for MIBR to keep that lead in their hands.
Molotovs being dumped towards those upper box halls. Renegades learned that lesson pretty quick, that you cannot trust coldzera to not hold the angle, or whoever has the CT spawn to get up in those halls and pop you. Speaking of pops, there's a pop flash on Ivy. They look, they search. Nobody there quite yet. It's a 3-2 stack, 3 to the A site right now. coldzera is playing anti-flash while the Fur and Phelps are holding on the bomb train, and Fur's just bouncing up and down on top of it, hoping to get an angle with the scout, get an early warning to coldzera so he can turn and fight.
Yeah, I like this from Renegades right now. They aren't committing too hard. They've got JKM to actually take this upper box halls area and actually create a little bit of presence right now, but Renegades not overcommitting to anything, looking for any overextension from any CTs that might actually allow them to open up the map.
Well, there's 50 seconds, and Renegades love these late executes. I don't see anything changing for the time being, but I love how conservative MIBR are with their utility right now. They've thrown very few smokes. I just saw a smoke on the ramp to B site pop, and they've got another one in Phelps' hands that he's just holding on to so he can throw the same smoke. Utilities coming into the B site. With MIBR being outgunned at this point, they are starting to unsettle out of A. Fur, though, he's just hanging in Z, hoping for the best. It was 3 defenders on that B site, and now they recognize that it is going to be a fake. A missed shot from Fur. There's an angle, though, as Fallen takes a really rapid shot, and right now the Renegades are absolutely melting, taking far too much damage on entry with sub 10 seconds left. I can't imagine that they'll win this round, and they will not.
MIBR, what a round to actually take there. Renegades trying to fake that inner bomb site and move it towards outside towards the end of that round. And you're going to actually see the MIBR players start drifting towards inner there off the initial fake. But they do make the rotations back towards outside in time. And coldzera with that deagle. Is there anything more iconic than coldzera and his deagle?
I saw it at the beginning of the round. I mean, if there's anybody that wants to have such a pocket protector gun, it's the deagle and coldzera. And we know how good he is with the rifle, but still, if you min-max your team, you put coldzera on that deagle because he can do just as good with a rifle. Or as a rifle with it. So now MIBR are looking to close this out, but Azza catches Fur. He needs to be able to escape this angle. What a shot from Fallen. I actually thought it was Phelps that managed to pull that one off. Azza tried to escape. It'll be an even trade.
All right, it does look like Renegades off of that death of Azza will be consolidating their efforts possibly towards the inner bomb site. Only one man on the scene here, and this is going to be Taco playing with the AUG from the back trains. More of a contact position out of him.
Now, Renegades, I think they need to act a little bit faster. You don't want to give MIBR the extra man, and that being the clock.
Yeah.
Because if anything happens that goes south, and MIBR is a team that is more than capable of punching you in the face and making your plans look sloppy. That could hurt you. Don't give them the opportunity. They are setting up right now for a B hit, and it might happen sooner rather than later. Smoke's coming down. That's going to obscure Fallen's angle, but Jacob jumps down before the smokes bloom. He will be the first casualty, but the bomb will be planted. Fallen now quick to rotate around. He actually stops the bomb planter. I stand corrected. Leas tries to plant that, and beautiful jump peek from Taco as he drops right down and it just lines it up against Smooya. No chance for JKS. He watches the 2 CTs jumping and bouncing and bumbling.
Wait a second. Oh.
But it is a round from MIBR, and they are now, instead of being 1 map away, are 1 round away from France.
Yeah, it was very scary, though. It did look like JKS was going to be able to pick up at least 3 more kills and turn that one into a 1v1. Unfortunately for him, he does get taken down there in the end. MIBR move on to their 15th round, Dallas, and they're on the brink of heading or booking their ticket to Occitanie.
Ooh, I had a lot of hope for Renegades, and I'm really impressed the way they played, but they had done very well in the 21st to the 25th rounds, winning 4 rounds out of 5, which was great from them. And they were forcing MIBR into these awkward spots of, okay, we saved an op, we saved an AUG. Do we buy in behind this? We do. I mean, MIBR always bought in behind that with whatever they could muster. But it was coldzera that, he probably donated a rifle to his teammate and got a deagle in return, and that's still more than enough firepower to get MIBR out of that low-lying ground and get into some higher ground for themselves, because now they feel comfortable. Now they're back to their bread and butter.
Exactly.
Full rifle, op.
Exactly. Renegades, on the other hand, well, they're looking a little bit worse for wear on this buy, Dallas. Smooya, Mac 10, Leas, deagle, 2 Galils, as well as an AK. Not too much utility going on either here, so Renegades, to stay alive, are going to have to pull off some great shots here to actually keep themselves in this game.
There will be no B rush. Molotov came out from Taco to stop it at the ramp. He heard them starting to stomp around up top. It is going to be a burst, though, And now here's the angle from Taco. Oh, the Molotov comes around. He spots players over there, but he does allow the bomb to cross, even though it costs a life. Now Renegades trying to fight for their lives, to push ahead, to get the tighter angles, to make these SMGs worth it. It's 4-on-2, and right now Fur and now coldzera, the last man standing, 1v3. This could be it for the Renegades, but it is looking very pretty in this round. Can they get MIBR back down into that low ground in the muddy waters where they're having to save guns every round and having to buy up SMGs and deagles? If they can do that, they can absolutely tie this game up.
Yeah, what a lovely inner rush there coming out from Renegades. Essentially just a pop flash followed by the smokes. They're flooding in towards that lower bomb site. Taco does end up finding 1 kill on the entry, but can't do much else, as all the Renegades players are pretty much enclosing on him second by second. And now Azza taking down coldzera to end the round will put Renegades onto 13, Dallas. 2 rounds away from tying this one up.
They just got to do what they had done in the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, is win 3 rounds in a row. Now only 2 in a row. Just got to replicate that effort. You could send it to overtime and possibly send it into a 3rd map. That 3rd map would be Dust 2, if I'm not mistaken. So that is...
you are not mistaken.
It's a tall ask. I mean, it's still going to be tough in Dust 2, but Renegades have to stay focused. I mean, they have obviously forgotten what happened in map 1. It was 16-2.
Well, that's why they're a pro team, right? Cool, calm, collected. They're able to push off of a map loss, and right now Jacob and JKS combining to take down that inner push. But Fallen makes it through up the ladder, but he does get taken down.
You got to put him down quick. If he picks up your op, takes it out of Smooya's hands, suddenly everybody starts to sweat and fear. So coldzera's the last man alive. They were able to take that op out of Fallen's hands instantaneously before he could even chamber around. And that'll be that. We are going to 30 rounds on Train.
All right, is MIBR going to be able to close this one out, or will Renegades fight their way back to overtime and maybe take this map too?
All aboard, man. Everybody's going to be playing this one. I doubt that the Renegades are going to play fast like they had done previously to get a round win when they were on Mac 10s and stuff. Nobody wants to make the mistake. When you have so much riding right here, you're going to see a lot of players start to sweat it out, and they'll be a little bit more passive than they're usually accustomed to.
Well, it's definitely going to be Renegades having the firepower advantage moving into this round. We're going to see Phelps with that MP9, coldzera with a Thomas, and a very fast outside.
They are wicked fast. Jacob just sprints past old hell, and now he looks to pressure further. An atypical smoke. He smokes off any players that were over towards the Ivy side. Lots of bodies are falling. Taco with a grenade in one hand and an op in the other. Gets 2 kills, and then it's turned right back around. MIBR has the man advantage as the bomb starts to encroach past E-Box, but coldzera has this dead to rights. Cover fire coming in from Liaz right now. That would have been the bomb down and out. MIBR have a man to trade, though.
I don't think they know that Smooya's made his way towards this bomb train, though, so Smooya in a good position here to pick up a kill onto Cole, but Liaz goes down. That could be the round there as coldzera does take down Smooya. MIBR take it in the end, 16-14.
Man, just as the train was leaving the station, it looked like the Renegades were going to be able to close in on them and get a second chance, a second win to push it a little bit further. But instead, MIBR doing again, even though they were beaten, bloodied, and bruised, and they are back down there into the spots where they have an op and a rifle and then a couple SMGs and maybe a pistol, they still do manage to win